Welcome to Smut and Sensibility,
a podcast for romance readers and romance writers.
By romance readers and writers.
We are Amber,
Allie,
and Marie,
a group of learned ladies who love talking about the romance genre.
In this podcast, we will talk about our favorite books, writing craft, and how we make room for a creative life in real time.
So buckle up and enjoy the ride.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Smut and Sensibility. Thank you so much for joining us. We have been having such a fun time getting to know people on social media and connecting with all of y'all. It's been a really fun time. And so we really appreciate you listening to us and coming on this journey with us, because we just feel like with these times, we just need to lean in more to stuff that makes us happy and brings us joy. And that is absolutely romance novels and writing and creativity. If you haven't yet, please go ahead and give us a like or subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. And then we are also on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Blue Sky, and Substack. All of our social info will be linked down below in the link tree, but we're pretty easy to find at Smut and Sensibility Pod for Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We would love to see you there. If we haven't heard from you, we'd love to. This episode, we are going to talk a little bit about our writer origin stories, which I think is a fun way to also get to know us, because we're all coming at this process from different vantage points, whether that's the continuation of a childhood love of writing and reading, or whether that is a creative outlet that kind of burst open as an adult. All are valid and all are welcome. And I think that is a fun way to get to know us as well. So before we get into that, we're going to scoot over to our Book Nook segment. And I did just want to remind you that if you are interested in any of the books that we are recommending or talking about, we do have a link in the show notes to our bookshop.org affiliate. We have a link to all of the books for season 1. So they will be right there for you. And bookshop.org does have an ebook option now and an app to support that. And they also do have a connection with Libro FM. So if you're looking to avoid the big A this time of year, bookshop.org is a great way to do that. And we appreciate you taking the time to check out some of these books that we're recommending. Let's get into the show. All right, we're going to move on to our Book Nook. We're going to talk about reading and what we've read that we really enjoyed. So who would like to start?
I would love to start.
Oh my gosh,
Marie.
amazing.
Because I want to talk about Anywhere with You.
Yes.
By Ellie Palmer.
Yes.
I read that when it first came out. I just devoured it on a plane ride. And actually, I left my copy in the Airbnb in Austin, because they had on purpose, because I had it on Kindle as well.
Oh, on purpose.
And,
Okay.
they had
Cute.
a bookshelf there with a bunch of really pretentious books, and I was like, "You're gonna need that."
Yeah, you don't need
that. Yeah.
next to
Ulysses.
just
it was
right
a vibe.
there.
That Airbnb was a total fucking vibe. I had a great time. But anyway, the book is so sweet, and I really loved her first book. I love how she writes, just the way that she writes her heroines, the way that they feel. I resonate with them so much. I love the energy. I thought the plot was just so clever and funny. And I love that the heroine she's so determinedly short-sighted. She's got this flighty sister that's gonna get married, and she's gonna ruin her life, and she's gonna go interfere with this and fix it and stop it. And I think when you're balancing plot and you're balancing something the reader knows and is aware of that your main character isn't aware of. And that's always really fun, because if you're viewing a story through your main character's lens, you kind of assume by default that if they see something, it's going to pass through them and they're going to learn as much as the reader is. But in this case, it's people let her be a grown up. Maybe this is me being the baby of the family, but let the sister do whatever she wants. It's not your relationship to fix. It's not your problem to solve just because you have your view of it. Let her go do it. And I think another way that it really resonated with me is that it allowed the main character to be wrong and to be humbled without coming off as shame on her, she was wrong, in my opinion. And I really liked that. It was it is totally possible to be completely misguided and have the wrong impression about something, but also not be a bad person. And it's hard to balance that out with oh, here I am on this road. It's paved with good intentions. I wonder where we're going, and it's that's tough to write really well, in my opinion. And I think she does it in a really lovely way. The hero is just delightful, and the situations that they get put into are so funny. And it is so tempting, again, as a writer, to kind of like pull your punches a little bit. And it's just like anything that could go wrong did. They're pushed so far out of their comfort zone. They have to make these things work. And the grand gesture, I also like, I like it when the heroine is the one that can make the grand gesture. Like, I like it both ways. Don't clip that. I mean, you can clip it, sure, why not? But it's really cool to me to have a heroine who can be wrong about something, who can make amends and isn't like she's not a bad person, but she grows so much as a character. And I thought the story was so charming and just like her first book, I was completely hooked and immersed, totally on board, having a great time. So yeah, 10 out of 10, no notes. You're killing it, Ellie.
We
Go
love
all the way
Ellie.
off.
She's
Yeah.
a fellow
And also she's
Minnesota author, at
fucking
least for me.
delightful.
She is. She came to
And
our
Yes,
last
I hope
Smut
she's
You
coming to the
retreat.
retreat.
So
If
we all
Ellie, if you're seeing this before the retreat, please come, which I don't
please
think
come
she will be.
again. You were
Come
such
out.
a delight.
But
And
we
then
would love to
also,
see you again.
before we
would.
move on, Marie, I never thought that I would be like really into a man in a van. You know, like the stereotype of a man in a van, and like Ellie, God damn it, you made me want a man in a
Mhm.
van. So that just tells you like how good she
Maybe
is at
just one
writing.
specific man in one specific van.
It's true, just this one in this van. But yeah,
But I
it was
love
so
how
good.
that growth, like I felt the same way starting off, where I was like, well,
It's a man in a van.
it's a man in a van. Like, what's he bring to
We're
the?
the
He brings his
worst.
own table to the table, but he's
Yeah.
actually like
And it's bolted to the wall and it's
he's bolted to the
collapsible.
wall.
Yeah.
There's no room to move, and you know we're in our
Yeah.
30s, and I need some.
Also,
And he's
I
gonna
have to give a
break it
huge
down
shout
and
out to,
sleep
like,
on it later. Yeah.
perfect multitasking
Yeah.
king. I also want to give a huge shout out to, like, her books are not super explicit either, but they are so intimate, and I love that
They
because I
are.
feel like you can write explicit and have it not feel intimate, and like that's not a call out or anything, but like I've definitely read books where, you know, and they're not even marketed as erotica, but you get into it and you're just like, oh my gosh, could we say like, hello, how are you, what's your favorite color? And like, that's cool. I love that for you. But it's really neat to see something that she's really, really good at. Like, I don't even know if you would call it closed door. They're not
I don't know.
entirely
It's like
closed
open
door.
I
door
feel
a
it's
little
very
bit, but
gauzy.
fades to
Open
black.
door, but like gauzy.
Yeah,
There's like
Yeah,
a cool
it's like
yeah.
behind a
curtain.
veil, like it's gauzy. It's like shadowy. It's like if somebody
Yeah.
was doing something behind like
But the door is
like a
open, 'cause we
curtain
get a little
at a
peek.
Yeah.
sunset or something. Like
It's like you're at the hockey game, but you're wearing blindfold and like a really sexy man is telling you
yeah.
I think we've
what
uncovered a little
in the boy aquarium, what they're doing.
a
in there.
sexy dream of Marie's would be in the boy aquarium.
In the
We're
boy
gonna have to add
aquarium. Yes.
deep into
The ed
Marie's
list.
psyche kink corner. Nobody wants that.
Kink corner.
No.
I love it. New segment. New
New
segment.
segment. No longer is the crap
I mean, I
corner, it's
will,
the
but
kink
like
corner.
people I know might find this, and I don't want to make Thanksgiving awkward this year.
Isn't Thanksgiving always awkward? There's somebody's uncle who brings up something
Christ
they
almighty.
shouldn't and nobody agrees with, but yet they still bring it up and talk like they're
I
the
really
authority.
like, side note, I really want like a proper like Thanksgiving dinner. I just want that to be a thing where you can just get a Thanksgiving dinner at any time of the year.
Like
Just,
order, like delivery.
yeah, like
Like
just
a
like
chain
classic.
restaurant of Thanksgiving themed food.
I think the answer is that I need to eat food. They keep bringing up food, and I'm like, am
Yeah, I think
Marie's-
you're hungry a little bit.
Spoiler alert, she's hungry.
Spoiler, she's hungry. But yeah, she's just like, I wouldn't have typically reached for that book, but I was really, really happy that
You did.
she's a wonderful author. Her stories are so just really, really fun.
And she's crushing
And-
it. She's crushing
And she's
it.
crushing
She's a cool
it.
person.
And I love
She has
that.
a great Instagram. She's a friend of the pod. She doesn't know it, but she is.
She is.
So-
She will be. She doesn't know
She
we're doing
will
the
be.
pod yet, but I bet if
Yeah.
when she does, she'll
Yeah.
be like,
We've made the
She will
friendship.
approve.
I hope she took one of my friendship bracelets. Oh my gosh. I
I
hope
bet
so.
she did.
I bet she did.
I'm going to make more.
Are
Should
we
I make more?
And Marie's like, should I send her some? Should I do it
You're
right
like,
now?
You don't know me, but I did message her on Instagram when her book dropped, and I was like, hi, you probably don't remember me, but we talked at the retreat, and like, I really loved your book. Good job.
Bye.
And she messaged me right back, and she was like, I do remember you. You told me about the book you were working on. I hope that's
Aw.
going well. And I was like, famous people, they're just like us.
I hope she's
All
coming.
authors are famous people.
We should ask Sam, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so what is everybody else reading?
I'll go next.
All right.
I read You Between the Lines by Katie Naymon. And I really liked it. So this book takes place at an MFA program at like a prestigious North Carolina university called Perrin. And I would say it's more literary. It's angsty, a lot of pining. Right? They're in workshop together. They write poems about each other. He writes poems about her. There's a very good. I believe the author, Katie Naymon, she has her MFA in poetry, I think from UNC Greensboro in North Carolina, which is pretty close to some of my old haunts. And she said in social media a while ago that she kind of reworked some of her MFA poetry for the book. And I loved the poetry that was in this book. And I really liked the main character, Lee, who is her whole thing is that she's at this, kind of prestigious MFA program with a bunch of literary creatives. They've got the tote bags, they've got the horn rim glasses. Some of them are edgy. Like that's the vibe. They're the literary set. And she's like a former recruitment chair of a sorority, and she's very insecure about if she's going to be considered all form, no function, basically. I think it was like all show, no substance, I think is the critique. And the two characters know each other from high school, and they had kind of a almost romance, and there's a lot of pining. And I thought that it was really good. It was hot, emotionally hot. And similarly, I would not say that it was super explicit sex scenes. It was a little gauzy. If you like Emily Henry and if you like kind of beach read, I would say like that kind of dynamic between Gus and January. And if you liked that sort of, I would not call it closed door, but I would say it's more gauzy and emotionally resonant. I thought it was good. And it's a good fall read, I think, because it's academic, it's back to school. If you want to wear your loafers while you read it and get, a slutty little matcha, you could do that too. I thought it was really good. I'm looking forward to her next book. I had like a publisher's marketplace announcement. So she has another book that's going to come out. I'm not sure if it's next year, but I'm looking forward to it. I thought it was a good debut. Would recommend.
Love this. I also read that per your recommendation and I really enjoyed it. And I liked the poetry so much so that like I don't write poetry myself. And I remember while reading this, I have not done an MFA program, but being like, oh my gosh, not only is the author writing this story, but also has like original poetry in it. And I just felt the imposter syndrome, right? But then, you told me that like, no, she has her MFA, she writes poetry. That makes a little more sense. But yeah, it was a good one.
All right, Amber.
Am I
What
up?
did you read?
I read The Love Haters by Katherine Center.
Oh,
And
always
I
a good
listened.
one.
Yeah, I listened to this one on audio. And I don't know if I'd ever listened to the narrator before, Patty Murin, or if I just didn't remember. I think I'm getting so spoiled with dual and duet narration and full cast that I don't always know what to expect with a single narrator. I still have many narrators that I love that are single, but sometimes I'm always like, oh, there's only one narrator. Let's just see how this goes. But it was delightful. It was wonderful. They brought the characters to life. And it was just another fun read or listen for me while I was driving up to the cabin. Do you guys ever have this where when you really enjoy a book, you remember where you read it? Or is that just me?
Oh yeah.
Like
Similarly,
it's
like
weird.
to when I hear a song, I remember what
Yeah.
I was doing when I heard the song, or a song is
First
really
time.
strongly attached to memory. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was thinking about for what I was going to talk about in Book Nook, I just wanted to bring that up. It's like, does anybody else be like, oh yeah, I really like that book. I remember reading, listening in this place. But yeah, for the summary, I would say it's a heartwarming rom-com. Katie, our like heroine, is having a work crisis. She's trying to survive layoffs at her company, the same old story in corporate America. And she's assigned this profiling assignment on this Coast Guard rescue swimmer. Tom Hutchinson is the male hero in Key West, Florida. Unfortunately, she doesn't know how to swim, but she doesn't tell anybody because she like needs the assignment so she doesn't lose her job. And there's an added element. Hutch is her coworker's estranged brother. So like he doesn't want it. She doesn't know the story there. So there's just like a lot of intrigue and you don't know what else. So she goes to Key West. So during the whole book, she's tackling swim lessons. She's following him. So you learn a lot about rescue swimmers, which I didn't know. There's like helicopter flights and eventually there's like a hurricane. So it's just like it is more if you're feeling like you don't want summer to end. Allie, you said that in our previous episode. I would say this is a good like summer extender book. But I loved it. I felt like I was pulled into the setting and the plot and forgot I was listening, which I always like. I was like right there at the cozy cottages of the aunt and the budding romance between Hutch and Katie. And then this is definitely lower on the spice. So we all had a theme this week without even talking to each other. But it still was so good. Like there was the romantic entanglement and the development of their romance together. Like you were saying, Marie, it was very intimate and felt like they were really growing in their relationship with each other and getting through their past traumas without having the spice in it. So there wasn't explicit sex scenes in this one. So if that's something that either intrigues you or don't, but I really enjoyed this one.
Oh, that sounds so cute. And I love a little like take the job even though you are completely
unqualified.
Like, we'll fix it. We'll figure it out.
A girl's got to eat. A girl's got to do what a girl's got to do.
You know
yeah.
Doggy paddle.
Yeah, we'll figure it out once we get there.
I like Katherine Center. I haven't read that one, but I sort of binged her last 3 books at the end of last year, and I enjoyed them. And yeah, she writes closed door, but I find that like her characters are well developed, and I still enjoy. I prefer a little smut. So
me too.
I would say
but
that's
if
my
I
preference.
had to choose,
it's emotionally satisfying.
Yeah, I had to choose if I could only pick one, emotionally satisfying and developed characters or the smut, I would pick the first, but that's just my preference.
100%.
But also
yeah,
I live in a world where I get to have both. So I do
I get to have both and I want both.
Both, exactly. But I enjoy reading books of all kinds and Katherine hit it for me. Even though there was no spice, I'm like, I really enjoyed it and I would read it again.
Awesome.
All right, next we're going to go to our craft corner. And this week we're going to dive in a little bit to our little writer origin stories as you're getting to know us. One's is a little different, and it's always kind of fun to see what people remember how they got started writing and the journey to where we got today. So without further ado,
Marie, why don't you go first?
Yeah.
Well, I can do that.
Okay. Sorry to put you on the spot. I feel like people are probably really sick of hearing my nasal
no one could
vocal
ever be
fry.
Sick of hearing
Never. Stop talking about my best friend that way.
Yeah. Unacceptable.
I'll kick your ass.
Now you get 5 extra.
Maybe I should just have some more in the microphone.
I think that is very sexy and slay of you. I can't find the prop I was going to use.
You know what? Do you need me to go first?
No, I'm good. I can make shit up all day long. Okay, yeah. So my writer origin story, I have in my desk somewhere, I was going to bring it out and read it. I have a short story that I wrote probably 3rd grade, and it is handwritten. It's on a sheet of notebook paper back and front, and it is a very snarky retelling of Snow White as told from the perspective of the magic mirror. And it is very bad, but I love it. And I keep it around as being like, remember who the fuck you are. You are very silly and you love silly things and you love joy. And I'm talking about myself in the 3rd person. I have been writing nonsense for as long as I can remember. I turned in lightly sanitized X-Men fan fiction as a 6th grade writing sample and got a really good grade on it.
Incredible.
I was girl.
File those serial numbers off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody will know. It's no one's business.
I didn't know. I was like, this is a completely original idea that a thought no one has ever had before. Interesting.
No, definitely not.
I got so annoyed in college taking an Arthurian lit class that I completed my first NaNoWriMo novel out of spite. And
Incredible.
I still have it. I actually found it the other day. It's really bad. But the vibes are good. And I think something that's been consistent in what has inspired me as a writer from the very beginning is I've always loved myths and legends and fairy tales. I've loved taking an established story and looking at it from a different perspective. I've loved taking things and turning them on their head. And so the story that I wrote in college was essentially a retelling of Tristan and Isolde, but it was from a different point of view, telling a different angle in the story. I think that honestly is a consistent theme in almost everything I've done from the beginning, is I've always enjoyed taking the story and turning it a different direction, or what happens after the thing, or we've got the fairy tale and we've kissed the frog and then the thing. What about that? And just digging into kind of the human and fallible side of things. And I love difficult women, air quotes. I love stubborn heroines. I love characters that are kind of self-contradictory. I like characters that are stuck in impossible situations and improvise, that things don't line up for them and things don't work well for them. And yeah, so I've been writing forever. And when I went to college, I kind of just got English degrees because it was there. I didn't really have any career interest in anything specific. And so I thought, oh, well, you can do a lot with that, I guess. And so I've had a very odd sort of mundane career trajectory. I have done some, copywriting work and freelance writing, fiction writing and nonfiction writing work. But now I'm glad to be in a place where I don't really use my creative writing at work in the same way as I do for what I work on. And that frees me up considerably to just kind of pour everything into what I'm working on. So yeah, I just read a lot of fairy tales as a kid and read a lot of the Fairy Queen and Arthurian lit and myths and legends. And, I think everybody kind of goes through their Greek mythology phase or their Norse mythology phase. And yeah, I've always been telling stories and making up stories, and I always enjoy the world building side of things a lot as a kid. I haven't written fantasy in a long time, actually, though. I focused for a while on kind of contemporary rom-com stuff. And so it's been really fun to kind of shift back into that like slightly younger mode of writing, but with a lot more mileage experience on it, where I'm really enjoying writing, heroines and heroes that are solidly adults that are a little older than sort of the traditional age for going off on an adventure. Not that it has an age. It doesn't have an age limit.
But at least for a while in publishing, there was an age group, right?
Yeah. And
he's actually 503, but he is, appears like he's 19,
Right. Yeah. And you're like,
everyone's eternally 19.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
exterior
I love
19.
that. I love that energy. I firmly believe that no work is wasted. Like, even if you start a project and you work on it and you set it aside. I mean, I've started NaNoWriMo dozens of times and ended up with things that are just hot, wet dryer lint of stories. And it's fine. It's fine. I think everything you work through, it's illuminating something about you and shift your perspective on all sorts of things. So
I love
that is me. So I never really decided to start writing. I just sort of
it found you,
kept going, and
you never stopped.
I never stopped.
I love that you still have that story from in 3rd grade.
I love that.
And you keep it, and we need to photocopy it and frame it.
I need
for
to
your
find
wall.
it. I know it's in my desk drawer, and I've folded it up, and I will
She's
exclusive
found
bonus content. I will read it.
Bonus content. Oh my God, that's
bonus
amazing.
content.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that.
I mean, Marie, you have the reader origin story and the writer origin story that I want. So,
I mean, just rub
jealous.
it in our faces.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there is no, everything we bring to it is so, it makes it so fun and unique. And I also feel like I grew up relatively, kind of culturally sheltered and culturally safe. And so I think when you're always looking out, and you just all these other interesting places and spaces, you kind of write fantastically. But there's, I think everybody has the capacity to write.
Yeah, you just gotta do it and try
from anywhere. Yeah.
Allie, do you want to go next, or do you want me to, since you were just talking?
You go, Amber. I'll bring up the rear.
I would love for you to bring up my rear.
Let's bring it up.
Okay.
Let's bring it up. On that note, I think I was trying to think if I could remember the first time I really wrote a story front to back, but I think I've been telling stories for a really long time, but the catch mostly to myself. I was a really imaginative child. I'd love to make up stories and scenarios and play with my stuffed animals, Barbies. Do you guys remember Little Pet Shops?
Oh my God, yeah. And Polly Pocket and
Polly Pockets, yes. And it was always an ongoing thing between my sister and I, because she's definitely a little different brain, where she always just wanted to build the houses. I was like, I will only build a house if you then play with me. And then, as you can imagine, she's the older sister. I'd build it with her and she'd leave and be by myself playing with all these stories. But when I grew up in Wisconsin, in elementary school, we had this program called Landmark Books. It's basically where anybody could participate. It wasn't required, but you could write and illustrate your own book, and you'd send your pages in. And it wasn't a completely bound book, but it kind of looked like it and had a cover. So they'd bind it for you. And then the winner would get published as that Landmark Book of the Year. I did not win a single year, but I participated every year. And I remember just being so excited. so proud of myself having this little finished product in my hands. I probably should have dug some up. I do still have some. My husband found one recently and thinks I'm unhinged in the 2nd grade. It's called The Case of the Missing Boy. And at
Now
the
you got to
end,
read it.
this is gonna
We're all
be
doing a throwback episode
this will be
so
bonus
I can see it.
content. That like it's the tale of the missing boy, and then I find him in a ditch in the end, and he's like, "Oh my god, you found a dead body in 2nd grade?" I'm like, "No, he was just in the ditch." He's like, "That's not how I read that." And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. I was in 2nd grade.
Oh my God.
He was just in the ditch.
It was just in the
It's fine.
ditch.
Don't
And
worry about it.
yeah, and
He likes
so
it there.
he loves it there, and I've always loved books. And so I think some of the creativity not died, but maybe was hibernating during undergrad and law school, right? Like academic, you're really busy, you're in a new phase of life, you're learning a lot. So for whatever reason, I just didn't really write in that phase a lot. And I definitely daydreamed a lot about writing, like maybe someday I can write my own book. But for some reason, I just felt it was a someday dream. I couldn't do it yet, or it was almost unattainable. It was something I could wish for and hope for. And then, as I've alluded to in the first episode, it was really after law school that I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to follow my dream. And if it doesn't go anywhere, if I just write for fun, that's okay. And I think recognizing that and leaning into that, you're going to do it for you, really gave me the freedom to do it, and was excited. And I downloaded Scrivener and dug in, but it was a solitary act. So like what Allie, you were saying, that there's a lot of imposter syndrome and you want to get opinions or bounce things off of somebody else. There's a lot of self-doubt. So not that you can't write on your own, because you can, but I do have to say I have found it way more enjoyable, and I've been way more successful in a writing group where I can trust my most vulnerable pieces to these people who have showed me they care and love for me, and they'll take care of me. And so that's how I found Smut You last year, which you all know. So here I am. And now we're on the Smut and Sensibility podcast, continuing the story. So it's me.
Oh, I love that. I love your origin story. And I also feel like it's such a common thing with any sort of like big goal or dream where you're almost like, when I'm this different person, like when I'm the kind of person who can write a book, and then I'll write a book.
It's like, what are you
But
waiting for? You are that person.
you are that person. Like your first draft's going to be bad. That's fine. But like you
Everyone's
already are the person of your dreams.
Oh, Marie, we need to put that on a bumper sticker.
Oh,
Amber, I love that. I love that origin story. And I'm so glad that we're in the same writing group. And there is just something really vulnerable. Like you just become friends with people really fast when you read your smut together.
It's so true.
You know?
I had some of Patrick's aunts were like, what? Like you're going to go to meet people in person that you've only met on the internet a couple months ago? I'm like, have I only known them a couple months? I'm like, yes, I am. Yeah, we're going to go
them pretty well, actually.
Together.
yeah.
Very well. Allie, what's your origin story?
Yeah. Like I said, I wish that I could just have Marie's stories for both reading and writing.
We'll just steal them.
I'd say that I was a pretty creative kid, definitely undiagnosed ADHD in a girl. I was daydreamy. I was really into school. I loved school. And so we did a lot of writing projects in school, and I always really enjoyed that. And I had always gotten feedback from my teachers that I was good at that. And when I got into high school, I had a teacher my freshman year that just basically completely squashed like that feeling that I was good at writing and literature and, communications, I believe is what we called it in my high school, which, I would argue that I wasn't bad. I would argue that he was not really a good teacher, but that's me. But I think that I've always had this creative side to me. I've always been interested in like humanities, but I always have had my primary driver be like science and medicine. So I just sort of shut that whole part of me and was like, okay, you're not good at this. You just need to focus on science and math and chemistry and all of that stuff. Chemistry is science, you know what I mean? But I kind of like shut that door. And it's really sad when I think about that, because like I just should not have listened to him, and I should have just done it anyway. You're 14 and you're super impressionable and you don't know any better. And I really, at that time, highly respected authority. And I was very much like probably teacher's pet energy. I wanted the teachers to like me. I wanted to be really good. And whether or not you're talking about style, I think that when you get consistent negative feedback about something, you really become pretty uninterested in continuing to like pursue that thing. So that's kind of sad.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
I mean, I call him
Fuck that guy.
Voldemort. Like, can I just call it out? I hate him.
Yeah, what an asshole.
And I
Yeah,
also
he was
think
kind of lame.
in
It's
real
okay.
life,
We'll talk about him offline.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fair. But we don't like him.
No, he went to Notre Dame. I think that kind of says everything that you need to know. Amber, especially like deep Midwestern. You know what you get what I'm saying, right?
Girl, I just had a big sigh. Just you bring it
Yeah,
up.
you get
Like,
what I'm
I got
saying.
you.
You know. So if you know, you know.
Yeah.
So I think I enjoyed writing like essays and stuff in college, but I never really did any further kind of creative stuff after that. And then it honestly took me until late 2021, early 2022 when I actually decided to start writing again. And I remember that I was in training still, and it was post COVID. So it was 2021. And like, that was a really fucking bleak time to be a doctor and then to be in training as a doctor. So would not recommend. It wasn't really that fun. And I was just kind of going through a hard time with my job and being like, this isn't really what they promised us it would be. And I remember driving and I was listening to The X Hex by Aaron Sterling / Rachel Hawkins. And I loved that book. I thought that it was so fun. It's witchy. It sort of starts out where she's like hexing and like cursing her ex, and it works. And she's drunkenly casting a curse, which is fun. So for some reason, when I was driving, I started thinking about books that I would love to read because I was like, this is a great book. I'm really having a fun time with this. This is giving me the diversion of reality that I'm looking for. And then a couple of minutes later, I just had the thought of why don't I write some of these ideas? Don't really know why at that point I decided to, but I did. I started writing very poorly that fall. Like
It's the best way to do it. It's the best way to start.
yeah. So
There's only one way to go.
yeah, I started writing pretty poorly that fall. And I kind of continued a little bit in 2022. I thought I was going to have so much more time, like once I graduated. And I had a really challenging work situation after that and didn't get to do anything that I wanted to do. And once I left that situation, I think it was in 2023. When did Pride and Protest get published? Do you remember?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah, I think it was 22 or 23, maybe
I think
23.
23.
Yeah. So Sam was a lot more active on the Smut U Instagram at the time. And I think that there was a website too back then. But I remember seeing posts about Smut U and just the workshopping. And I was like, okay, when I am done with this bad time, I'm going to do this because like I really want to be in a writing group and I really want community because I was really struggling with writing on my own. I'm kind of a communal creature. I like being around other people, and I just had a lot of kind of panic moments of, oh my gosh, am I doing this wrong? And so then once I kind of and pivoted a bit, I immediately joined Smut U, and it's been over a year. And I think that my writing has gotten a lot better, even just in the year that I've been doing it, because you prep stuff for workshopping and you want it to be good and you keep working at something pretty consistently. And you also learn from other people. Even if you're not sharing your work, you learn from other people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I love that part of it.
So my origin story is kind of bimodal, I would say.
I love a bimodal origin story.
Yeah. So mine's bimodal, and I wish that I could say that I had a bunch of stories and stuff, but I think it was Amber, you said the landmark books. I think we had something kind of similar to that, like in my elementary school as well. Cool. And I know that I participated in some of those, and we had our art teacher, we could make art for our stories, and she would have it printed on magnets and tote bags and all of that stuff. So I was definitely into stuff like that. Yeah.
You guys are going to have to bring these.
I know, the original swag bag. You had your art on a bag.
I know, mine was like a turtle. I had like a crayon colored turtle. My parents had it on their fridge for forever, but I think it's been lost to the sands of time at this point. It was a pretty cute turtle.
But it was
like a
your mom
cute
still has,
kid's
or has a
drawing
picture
of a turtle. Mm-hmm.
We'll have to see if we can find the turtle as bonus content.
It's our new logo.
It's our new logo. I love
As you were talking,
stories.
I was trying to remember how long I've been in Smut U and because I took a break for a little bit.
We're going to be sophomores. Amber and I are going to be sophomores.
That's right. We're just about to be in our second year.
I love that.
We were the freshies for the long time.
I genuinely don't even remember when I started.
There was no before. There was only after.
I may have had a
Smut U.
different last name. No, I for sure had a different last name because the emails were going to a different email address for a while.
So that narrows it down for a certain time period.
It was definitely
that does
before times.
The before times.
The before times. The long
was
ago.
Was that pre-entangled or was that post-entangled? Like, were you in Smut U when you were doing the entangled thing, or was that on your own?
I think it was. I think it was concurrent with entangled. Yeah. Because I think I did bring some stuff and read it in class. I must have. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
I love it.
I love that.
Us.
Look at us go.
Look at us.
All right, so happy endings is our next segment, and that's where we like to end on a high note, or talk about what we're grateful for, just something that we're looking forward to this week, writing related or not. Who would like to kick us off?
I have a couple things I'm really grateful for. On a personal writing note, I've been just keeping really good momentum with stuff. I've had a lot of TK, fill this in later things that I've written up to the point where I'm like, ooh, okay, I think I know what to put there and how to make this really amp up the stakes and tension for my characters and continue to put them in capital S situations. And also, too, I've been really grateful for not just the community that we have. One of my writing friends who's not a part of Smut U, she's been working on something. We've been bouncing ideas off of each other, and I've been like, I've got this thing. What do you think about this? And she's been the kind of person where she normally just sort of writes when she's compelled to, and kind of similar to hasn't really finished anything and kind of has been hard on herself for that. And I'm really grateful to see her kind of work I'm really excited. I love the story. I love the character she's coming up. I want her to write it so that I can read it, because when she sends me snippets of it, I'm just like, I need to eat this
more.
But just I'm just grateful for writing communities in general and sort of demystifying the process of I don't know anybody that sits down and is like, right, cracks knuckles, I'm going to start at word 1 and I'm just going to write it all the way through and it's going to be beautiful and perfect and amazing and everyone's going to love it forever. These products arrive so fully formed when we buy them, but I think that's something that this podcast does and good communities do and good friendships do within it, where you know, sometimes you write a scene and I have something right now that I've written and I'm like, I can't, this doesn't fit. So, but I'm so grateful for, just good friendship, good community, and good, behind the curtain of we're all working, we're all writing, and we're being really nice to ourselves about it. We're not going to be mean to ourselves about it.
100%. No mean talk. Don't talk about my friend that way.
No.
I'm watching
Only
you.
I can do that.
Only I can do that. And I would never.
Yes. But what about you two? What are you guys, what are you looking forward to? What's exciting you? What's lighting you up?
I can go.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to have support of family and friends. I've been feeling better. Also, my sister is here right now. Shout out to Amanda. She's here so we can record this lovely podcast.
Yeah. Thank you, Amanda. We love
little
you.
Man.
Aunt of the year.
Auntie of the year. So that just feels really good. She drove all the way from Wisconsin. So I'm just really thankful to have the support of family and friends, especially with Patrick being gone. Being a full-time working mom, solo parent, we're still adjusting, but it feels good to lean into the support systems. And I'm excited to continually get back into creativity. So stay tuned. More to come.
Excellent.
I love it. I am just getting back from my first trip to Oxford, and I'm just feeling really grateful for being able to combine studying and going down rabbit holes and travel. And it's a little bit scary because I'm feeling good right now, but I know that there will be times where I'll be like, what the fuck have you done? What are you doing? Why'd you do this? I'm adding more work to my plate, essentially. But I very much feel this has been a 2-year process in the making of kind of getting to this point and getting some of the pre-work and making the connections to then get into this program. And I'm pretty excited. I think I very much feel like this is the start of something new, not to quote Gabriella and Troy. I won't sing in this episode. We didn't sing this time. Yeah, I won't sing in this episode. I'm so sorry. But I am pretty excited about that. And just having the privilege to travel and study. And I was just feeling super grateful. And I had a great vacation. I made a longer trip of it this last time, and it felt like a good rest. And it was just, I feel like there are so few times that things turn out to be what you hoped they would be. And I really feel like this trip was everything that I had wanted it to be for the last couple of years as far as travel. And I feel like the institution thus far has been everything that I wanted it to be and hoped it would be. My colleagues and classmates are amazing. So I'm excited to get to know them more over the next 2 years.
I just love
That is so
seeing
cool.
your dream come to fruition.
Do you want to did you share already like what or do you want to share like what your field of study is in this?
Oh yeah. I think I mentioned it in like the super quick intro, which was far inferior to your intro, Marie, but I am studying
It's going to give me
English.
a complex here.
I'm studying English, social, and local history. So I'm really interested in social history as well as the overlap kind of history of medicine. And studying medicine really took a lot of my brain power. So while I had interests in other humanities topics in college, and I have a BA, so I checked those boxes, but I moved on and I didn't get to really dive deeper. And so as I sort of came out of this period of challenge and transition, I was thinking about what would make me happy and what I wanted to do. And I think exploring things outside of my job was something that I really wanted to do. And part of that is creativity and writing. And that was absolutely one piece. But I think I would like to do some other academic things. And so I've been interested in history. And this is an opportunity to do part-time work, remote work with some occasional meetups throughout the year in person that allows you to still be a human with a full-time job, paying bills and all those things. So I'm excited for like formal study in history because I haven't really had longitudinal like formal instruction. So I'm excited about that.
You're just so impressive.
That sounds so cool. See,
Can I just say that? Like, you are so impressive and
so
smart.
Cool.
I just I mean, I'm just an eldest daughter in search of academic validation. So
at least you're aware.
She's never
like,
she's never done. She's like, oh.
She's never done.
Yeah.
Well,
she's
on
never
that
done.
note.
On that note, thank you guys for joining us. Amber, we said it at the same time.
I know. You go. Oh. Go, girl.
I was just going to say, thank you for joining us. Our next episode will cover a little bit more information about Marie's story in our next episode. We hope you'll join us. And thanks for bearing with us as we continue to adapt and grow our podcast and our learning together. We'll talk to you later.
Have a happily ever after this week. And Allie, you're going to sign us off. You have your catchphrase. Stay smutty.
Yeah, stay smutty. I forgot about that. Stay
smutty.
I know,
I was like, girl.
Forgot to stay smutty.
You got to always stay
forgot
smutty.
about Trey.
No. Stay smutty. Go forth in search of your happily ever after. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.